Hey there everyone, welcome to this episode of GEARIST TV. On today's episode we're going to talk about the IOMINI from iOmounts. You may not have heard about iOmounts. It's a small company out of Basalt, Colorado, and just to kind of clue you in as to where they're coming from, you know, we live in a world where everything that we do, from communication to sharing pictures with people to basic day-to-day functions, keeping track of your calendar, math, calculating tips, finding your way around in a car, all those things use mobile devices. And like it or not, even the most clever among us still has to concoct ways, one way or another, to prop these things up and make them even more useful to us. So iOmounts decided that they were going to take on this challenge, and that's where their iOmounts line comes in. In this review, we are primarily going to be talking about the iOMINI, which is right here, but we're also going to highlight all the other products in the iOmounts line because they all work really, really well together and make it kind of a seamless transition from your car to your home to your office, whatever you need to do, with efficiency and lack of clutter as their inspiration and kind of as their guide. The stand mounts in the iOmounts lineup, which would be the iOMINI here, and also the iOstand, which is like this, just a little bit larger, they both hold this ball portion at the top of solid steel construction. The ball itself is solid steel, and the weighted base down here is also solid steel. The non-stand mounts in the lineup include the iOauto and its cousin, the iOauto Pro, and also the iOwall, which is essentially just a ball like this, the steel ball, with a screw-mounted back that can be mounted pretty much anywhere you want it to as long as you can drill into it. The main parts of the iOmounts setup are the ball, as we've been mentioning, but also the core. This is the iOmounts core. Basically this curved side, this kind of cupped side here, not sure if you can see that very well, that cup side is going to go toward the ball, and this portion right here, this is going to mount to the back side of your device or case, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. Really strong magnet there. So before you go thinking that the magnetic core is going to mount directly to the back of your device, don't worry. Rather than attaching itself right to the back of your device, what the core does is it attaches to this little ring right here called the iOAdapt. Now the iOAdapt goes on the back side of whatever device you've got. It can go on the back of a case depending on the type of the case construction. But what it does is this is the magnet to which the core is going to stick, thus protecting the finish in the outside of your device. If you've got a glass-backed or plastic or carbon fiber-backed smart or mobile device, it's probably not going to be magnetic anyway, so the core won't really stick to it. Now, some people may say, well, I don't want to stick this little metal ring to the back of my device, again, because you don't want to have something getting so close or damaging your device. That's where this comes in. It's a little skin, basically just a really easy to take off sticker, but it still holds on nice and durably. When both the iOAdapt and the skin are in place, this is what it looks like on the back of an iPad mini. You can see the skin right here, the iOAdapt attached right there to the back. That's how it attaches itself to the core, which is in turn mounted to the stand or the wall mount or what have you. So here are a couple of ways that we really found it useful to use the iOMINI, which again is the mount that we have in here at GEARIST. We don't have the wall mount, but we do have a lot of ideas for that, trust me, which we'll get to in a second. The first way we used this was with Skype calls. We tend to not be very sedentary people here at GEARIST, including my personal mini GEARIST, who's about 3.5 years old. So when we Skype with family back east, it's helpful to be able to put this, mount it anywhere we want to be, you know, show around the room with the camera here. We also actually mounted this in front of our television, ran the mirroring, from our iPad through our Apple TV, and we're able to use the TV in full size with Skyping with our families. For another use, being that GEARIST is based here in Colorado, it's not always an option to go and ride outside every time we want to get on our bike. So, when I was forced to get on a bike trainer, what I did was I was able to set this up right in front of the trainer, pop some headphones into it, watch Netflix to my heart content while I ground out the miles on the dreaded hamster wheel bike trainer. Finally, for me, this was a really great way to be able to use my iPad or my phone as a third screen. We've got two screens, as you can see back there, but oftentimes you want to have your calendar on a separate thing, or maybe you're taking a phone call on a separate thing, what have you. This is a really great way to mount things up, keep it hands-free, but still keep it in front of your field of vision. Really great way to use that. One of the most impressive things about the iOMINI, and basically all the iOmounts, is how simple they are. There's not a lot of complexity. There's not like a bunch of moving parts to it. It's really simple, really easy to use. It works with pretty much any device. I mean, you could probably put a freaking flip phone on this thing if you really, really wanted to. It really weights itself down well enough to hold up an iPad mini without thinking. Again, this is not meant to be used with a full-size iPad, but I'm betting based on weight that an iPad Air would have no problem with this whatsoever. Of course, that's my opinion, not the opinion of the company. So I mentioned a minute ago that I'd talk about the other mounts in the series and how they would work between office, home, and where have you. Well, first thing is that the I/O wall looks like this. Whammo! Now, as you can see, pretty much that's just this same exact ball with a screw mount off the back. You could take that, literally sink it into a kitchen wall where you might want to put your iPad to either watch something while you're cooking or preparing breakfast or what have you, but you could also put it there so that you can look at recipes, whatever you want to do. One of the greatest parts for those that like to get outside, be adventurous, go off-road, is to be able to mount your phone or your iPad, if you've got a 4G iPad, onto a dashboard. We're using the IO mount, the IO Auto or the IO Auto Pro. Both of those are going to use the same basic setup. They're going to use the same core, they're going to use the same skins and the same IO adapt. So literally there's nothing you have to do except for carry your smart device from your house, put it in your car, at work, maybe you've got another iOMINI or an IO stand, whatever you want. It's really super modular, and it's really easy to be something that you could sit there and then use in the car. If you find yourself constantly finding places to prop up your phones, your iPads, your tablets of any sort, this is definitely something you may want to take a look at. Whether it's in your car or at home or at work, whatever, this is a great thing that's going to keep you mobile, keep you versatile, and if you're watching GEARIST TV at all, chances are you're not a very sedentary person, and so you need something that can move with you. This is going to do it really simply, really easily. Check out iOmounts at iomounts.com. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of GEARIST TV. Please click on over to GEARIST.com. Take a look around the website. Let us know what you think. Watch our back episodes of GEARIST TV right here on our channel. You can subscribe by clicking a blue button you're going to see right here in just a minute. Click that, subscribe, get automatic updates, get news about giveaways and the like. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below, and we can't wait to see you next time. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of GEARIST TV. If you've got any questions or comments, as we just said a couple times, please leave it in the comment section below. Also, please do us a wonderful, wonderful New Year's favor and click that beautiful blue subscribe button right there. Thanks so much, guys, and we'll talk to you next time.